Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to today's call. My name is Scott Schlemmer. I'm going to be your host for the Vizionary and Capricoin overview today. Super excited about the information I'm about to deliver. So, first of all, I want you to close out of your Facebook, close out of any distraction, turn your phone off. If you're not using, if you are using your phone to listen to this, obviously don't turn it off. But if you are not, please turn off your phone and get ready to get some of the most exciting information that you're going to hear not only in 2015 but in all of your life. This is one of the biggest opportunities that has ever come across my desk in my 15 years of being in business. So super excited about what we've got going on here. I want you to know that this is not hype, though. I'm not a hype seller. I'm not going to hype something up that is not to be. I'm just going to deliver some information for you that you'll be able to digest and understand and process, and I think you'll get the same vision that I get out of it. Today, we're going to talk about three major things that I look for in business opportunities. We're going to talk about leadership. We're going to talk about product. We're going to talk about timing. I'm going to show you an inherent problem in society today, all around the world. I'm going to find it, and I'm going to show you a solution. And at the end, I'm going to share my story, why I decided to join Visionary, what I saw, and where my vision is for the future of this. Most of you that have listened to my webinars in the past know that I like to use famous quotes, analogies, or in this case, an acronym called KISS. Most of these things that I use will relate to what I'm going to talk about in that particular webinar, and in this situation, it fits perfectly. It's called KISS. Most of us have heard of this as keep it simple, stupid. Now, we're not calling anybody stupid. We're telling people to keep this simple. In anything that you do in life, you can make it as simple or as complicated as you want. And what I'm seeing in today's cryptocurrency world, this whole idea of a digital revolution, a digital money, people are really, really trying to complicate this. And I like to just tell them, most of us don't know how to program a computer. We don't know how to program a credit card machine that we might swipe at the store. In fact, almost none of us know how to do that kind of stuff. But we all know how to use it. And that is what is important when you're talking about cryptocurrencies, digital money. It's not important to talk about algorithms and programming and mining and all of these complex things that, quite frankly, don't play a part in what you're going to be using cryptocurrency for, what the purpose is for you to have cryptocurrency. So today, you're going to hear it. KISS, keep it simple, stupid. First of all, leadership. As most of you know, leadership, quality, product, and timing are the three things that I look for in business. The management team here at Visionary is second to none. We've got over a century of experience in small business, entrepreneurship. We've got over a couple of decades in the financial arena. So we're combining the best of the best to deliver one of the most exciting products that we will ever see. The guys that you see here in this picture are second to none. They have huge hearts for where this company is going. I know firsthand. They flew the leadership group out to Spain at the end of September to mastermind, to come up with solutions, and to solve problems, and to make this thing the biggest thing in 2015 and beyond. This next picture here is a picture of all of us in Spain, hanging out, having a good time, but also digging in and creating something here that is very, very special. If you're looking for me, you don't know who I am. If you look third from the left, up on top in the white shirt, bald head, that is me, right above our fearless leaders there, Andy and Nicole. That is me, Scott. We had a great trip here, and like I said, the information that you guys are about to see is going to be absolutely off the charts here. So stay tuned. Like I said, for the next 20 or 30 minutes, close out all of the distractions that you might have. Close your door and sit back and relax. This is a cartoon here that quite frankly hit home when I read it. not necessarily personally, but what I'm seeing in and around the United States and in around the world from friends and from business associates and different people that I run into. It says here, according to our calculations, we can make it if we become a 6 income family. Now, that's not too far from the truth. Here's what's going on in this world right now. We are seeing families that have to have 2 jobs, 3 jobs to make ends meet, maybe to have a little bit of cash to spend at the end of the day. I'm a 40-year-old businessman. When I grew up, my father owned his own business. My mother was a stay-at-home mom, and that was pretty standard in the community that I lived in. And now what I'm seeing all around my community is people struggling to make ends meet, working 2 jobs, 3 jobs, and just really, really, really having a hard time. One of the biggest issues that we're having today is inflation. The salaries in today's jobs are not keeping up with the inflation. I remember in the mid 90s when I got out of college, I was in the my first job inside of the golf profession, and I made, I don't know, 26, 25, $28,000. I don't even remember the exact amount, but I remember thinking, man, if I can get, or when I get to $40,000, this is going to be huge. This is going to be, I'm going to be able to do what I want when I want, and make things happen. So, but as time has gone on here, we've found out that that is not true. The money that we make is not going as far as it did just 20, 10, 15, 20 years ago, and it's only continuing to get worse. This is a great picture I like to look at here, and you can look at it from a couple of different ways. Obviously, the first one there is self-checkout. You're taking a job away, which we all know there's a huge, huge problem right now going on with unemployment. And then having the loan officer right there to pay for your, everyday goods. And we all know that's a huge problem right now in regards to trying to make ends meet. People are having to uh, borrow money. They're having to run credit card debt up, and we're having a huge issue with this. But also on the other end of this, I like to look at it from the keep it simple, stupid part. I remember when these self checkouts first came out, and I would avoid them like the plague. They were so complicated and they did not work. They were so annoying. I remember walking up to them, and you had one item, and the buzzer would go off, and somebody would have to come over and enter this code and do all this stuff. And 10 minutes later, I'd be walking out of there with my bag of apples. And I just remember people waiting 10, 15, whatever people deep, just to avoid having to go to the self checkout. And now when we walk into a Walmart, Target, whatever, local grocery store, I mean, the first thing I look for is, can I just check this out myself and get out of here? So, we've realized over time here that we need to keep things simple, and when we do, things seem to work properly, and things seem to work in an efficient manner. This one really hit home. Will my kids be better off in the future? One of the biggest issues that I have, with everything going forward is I have a 5-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a 10-month-old, and my biggest fear for them is that they're going to be in serious financial trouble based off the irresponsibility of our government, serious health consequences based off the lack of oversight in our food and the nutrition we have today. Studies are showing that our kids are actually, for the very first time in history, potentially going to live shorter lives than the previous generation. From our food to our exercise, and yes, even our finances. From a personal level, credit card debt is at an all-time high, and from a government level, the debt ratio is absolutely off the charts, over $19 trillion. We as Americans and countries around the world are struggling ourselves, and the future of our youth is at stake. You can see here the chart that shows our U.S. national debt. Just in 1970, it was less than, $500 billion. And here we are, 40 years, 45 years later, we're at over 19 trillion and growing at record levels. Can this sustain itself? It absolutely cannot sustain itself. So what we need to do right now is we need to make sure that we are taking our own futures into our own hands and ensuring it for the safety and for the well-being of our own children. You can see this chart right here shows the U.S. annual per capita income versus the national debt. In 1990, it was 2 to 1 income over debt. In 2015, it is more than 2 to 1 the other way. So our debt to income continues to grow in the wrong direction. This cannot sustain itself. Things need to change. We need to do things to make these things happen and make these things change. Ron Paul said here, I believe we as a nation are on the brink of a massive financial crisis, infinitely worse than the crisis of 2008. And that's because it won't be a banking and mortgage problem, but a full-blown currency crisis, the likes of which we've never experienced in this country. The savings of millions of people could be wiped out overnight. The stock market could crash by 50% or more. The way of life we've enjoyed as Americans for 50 years could come to an end. It's not a question of if this will happen, but when. Now, most of us know Ron Paul as a former U.S. presidential candidate, very respected 22-year congressman. This isn't something coming from the Globe or the National Enquirer. These are things coming from highly respected business professionals in the world. Warren Buffett, guys like Donald Trump. Donald Trump's running for president because he sees the writing on the wall, the crisis that is in front of us, and the things that we need to do now to correct those things starting today. You look at this. China approves usage of ruble instead of the US dollar for border city. China-Russia currency agreement further threatens the US dollar. Bankers behind bars, a guy to walk through the collapse of Iceland. Iceland's country basically overnight woke up to having inflation that doubled without any increase in their pay. Argentina has a debt crisis that's going on. Cyprus, which is tied to the Greek financial crisis, which we all know what's happening in Greece. These kind of pictures we're seeing all over the place where the Greeks are lining up for hours to withdraw only 60 euros out of their bank account. One thing that you guys may not know that you need to know is that when your money is tied up into the banking system, if there is a huge crisis that happens, you do not own that money. You do not own anything that is inside your safe deposit box if the United States government decides that they want to take it, just like what's happening in Greece. Zimbabwe is heading for an economic crisis. I've got a great picture right here. A gentleman, one of the leaders in this company, when we were out in Spain, brought this $10 trillion bill from Zimbabwe and showed it to us all. And I had to take a picture of it because it absolutely cracks me up. Although it's not funny because in Zimbabwe, this won't even buy you a pizza. $10 trillion bill. That's the kind of financial crisis that we are facing. Bill Bonner, the founder and president of Agora Publishing, had one of the best quotes I've seen yet to date. Digital currency is the first improvement in money in 5,000 years. And that is absolute fact. So I told you, all of the things here that we're the problems and the issues that we're facing, but this is not all doom and gloom. I'm not a doom and gloom kind of guy. I'm actually a half glass full kind of guy, but I also want to make people aware of what's happening out there in society. There are steps that you can take to secure your future. There are steps you can take to secure your family's future, your kids' future. Today I'm going to show you one of them. It's a new currency, it's a new global currency and an instant digital payment solution. So what is cryptocurrency? Many of you out there probably have no idea or have never heard of what cryptocurrency is. Basically, probably 90% of the world has never heard of cryptocurrency. They've never heard of Bitcoin. They've never heard of anything of the like. 10% of us have heard of it. Maybe 2 or 3% of us have actually educated ourselves on it and see the opportunity in the future. And that's what this is. This is opportunity staring you in the face. When 90% of the world doesn't know what something is, yet it's already made thousands of people millionaires. That is what I call the definition of opportunity. And when you're doing it inside of an $80 trillion market, you've got an incredible opportunity staring you right here in the face. So what is cryptocurrency? KISS, keep it simple, right? It's your money in a digital form. So basically take your dollar bill, write down or take that serial number that's on there, and throw the paper away, and that's what it is. It's money in a digital form. There are no fees, so that's as simple as I can keep it. Money in a digital form. It goes onto your e-wallet, and you use it to buy goods and services. There are no fees. You can transfer money worldwide instantly. It's protections. It's out of the hands of your government and bank. It is not tied to any other currency. It is completely separate of it. It's a solution to commerce, government regulations, and transaction fees. All you need to pay, get paid, and transfer money is a phone. That's right. Keep it simple. All you need to do is learn how to do it by about as simple as taking a picture on your phone. That's how simple this is. Bitcoin is probably the one that people have heard of if they've heard of cryptocurrency, and it was the first cryptocurrency in 2009. There are now more than 2,500 worldwide, but really only 100 or so with any type of value. Bitcoin appreciated in value from right around 1 cent, less than a cent in 2009, to up over $250 today, and actually rising in today's market. So $100 in Bitcoin in 2009 would be worth right around $2.5 million today. So if you had had the wherewithal to get in front of a movement and get $100 of Bitcoins in 2009, you would be a millionaire today. And like I said, many, many people have already done that. But that ship has sailed. You see here, no Norwegian man forgets about a $26 Bitcoin investment and made $850,000. Essentially, what he did is in 2009 he was doing a thesis paper for his for school, for his college, and came across a thesis on encryption, excuse me, and came across Bitcoin and decided to throw $26 at it, put it in the e-wallet, forgot about it. 3 years later, 4 years later, he collected it and turned it in, sold it, and made $850,000 out of a $26 investment. That's the kind of power we're talking about here. Bitcoin is already widely accepted worldwide. It's accepted by more than 300,000 companies worldwide. It's basically like having a debit card or bank account on your cell phone without any of the transaction fees. It's accepted by places like Dell, Overstock.com, PayPal, Virgin Atlantic, Tiger Direct, 7-Eleven, Expedia, Microsoft, and on and on and on. I could go with that. It's got huge news. It's been deemed a regular currency by Australian Senate. Every day I'm hearing news about Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, and the movement towards being a regular, accepted form of payment. In Australia, right here, as you see here, the Bitcoin is deemed a regular currency by the Australian Senate Committee. This is August 4th, 2015. Bitcoin is officially a commodity according to U.S. regular. What does that mean? That puts it on the same level as gold and silver and gas and oil and all those things. September 17th, 2015, you see this. Almost every day news is breaking on this. Barclays to become the first major bank to accept Bitcoin, September 1st, 2015. So banks are even recognizing today the power of cryptocurrency, the power of the blockchain technology, and they're starting to get on board. However, Bitcoin actually has some challenges for long-term sustainability. Bitcoin doesn't have an it does have Bitcoin has no formal marketing strategy. It's perceived as an investment. It's volatile and fluctuating in price. It's delaying conversions to global currency. To pay or use Bitcoin to either convert it into a traditional currency or to use it as a payment form can take several minutes up to several hours to process. It's also very expensive to mine the hardware, software, and electricity to get involved in Bitcoin. But like I said, what I'm going to show you today is very, very simple. It's not expensive to mine. It doesn't have any delays in conversion. It's not volatile in price. And it has a formal marketing strategy. Today we're going to talk about Vizionary and Capricoin. Capricoin is the digital payment solution. Vizionary is the marketing platform for Capricoin. It's a legitimate cryptocurrency. It's available on 3 public exchanges: Bittrex.com, BlueTrade.com, and CoinMarketCap.com. So what does that mean? That sounds real complicated, right? A public exchange is just a place where people meet to have buyers and sellers meet. Look at it as a cattle exchange. Buyers and sellers meet to buy and sell cattle on the exchange. And this is really no different than that, except you're buying and selling cryptocurrencies. So we're available on 3 public exchanges. That makes us a legitimate cryptocurrency. That makes us a blockchain cryptocurrency. Things and documents and things have to be disclosed in order to get onto these regulated exchanges. The Capricoin was designed to protect and secure finances. It was designed to increase in value. It was designed to be a global digital payment solution. Tenured, successful cryptocurrency advisor Gary Conner, who is editor-in-chief of altcointoday.com, a highly respected professional in this industry, highly respected in the cryptocurrency niche, said Capricoin is the perfect coin. That's right. Capricoin is the perfect coin. Gary Conner. You can check out his information at altcointoday.com. He is a world of information. He is a unbelievable guy to have on your side to be able to answer questions, to be able to make sure that we are meeting all the things we need to meet to continue to be the perfect coin. So what makes Capricoin different? First of all, we're the world's first MLM on the exchanges with our own blockchain cryptocurrency. So what does that mean? So if you take the power of being involved in network marketing and the opportunity there to have foot soldiers create volume, create velocity, which ultimately creates demand or supply or demand, which ultimately creates value. We're the very first legitimate blockchain cryptocurrency accepted on a public exchange. So we are essentially the first cryptocurrency in history with a marketing arm attached to it, with a marketing strategy to help drive volume, to help drive demand, and to help drive value ultimately. It's a second generation cryptocurrency, so it's an instant payment solution. The new technology today offers it to be an instant payment solution. So you take your phone in to a merchant that accepts Capricoin, you scan the QR code or you enter uh, the the email into it and you hit send, and that is it. It's over 3 seconds. Your payment is done. Very similar to what people are starting to do today with Apple Pay and Google Wallet and all these different things. What we're getting away from here is any kind of fees or any kind of ties to traditional currencies, to traditional markets, and traditional volatility. No one has the technology nor the strategy Capricoin offers. We have solutions for you to pay with Capricoin anywhere you want. So if you're a merchant and you're interested in accepting Capricoin, you actually get paid in your local currency. So it's like getting paid in cash. So somebody walks into your store, they pay you in Capricoin, it immediately, instantly turns into cash. So that's how you get paid. There is zero risk involved in accepting Capricoin. So you say, well, what's the benefit of that? Why wouldn't I just pay cash? Well, first of all, where everything is moving to digital form. Secondly, if people are using credit cards, merchants are paying, several percent in fees to process every one of those transactions, where here you're paying virtually no fee to process this transaction and you're getting paid in your local currency. Super, super powerful option there. The value is based on true supply and demand, not speculative trading. There's an attractive earnings potential, very low mining price. So there's that word mining. How difficult is that? Not difficult at all. Visionary handles all of that for you. You get your package, they mine the coins, they put them into your back office, you put them into your wallet. It is that simple. Don't make it any more complicated than that. Free mining time for members as well. So you can earn free mining time based on your activity inside of the mining pool. How do you get started? You can get started right now. €297 or roughly $300 will get you mining this week for your very own Capricoin and weeks into advance. Get back with the person who invited you, get your questions answered, and get started. Then you go find 2 partners who want to protect their savings, and you can start earning an income on top of accumulating your Capricoin. How do you do that? You invite people to this presentation, just like somebody invited you to this presentation. So it's as simple as that. KISS, keep it simple, stupid. Make the decision to get educated, get your questions answered, and get started today. So I told you at the beginning that at the end I was going to share my story. Why did I get started with Visionary? Why today? Why now? Why is this the greatest opportunity that you and I have ever seen? About a year and a half ago, I was introduced to Bitcoin in July of 2014. I was offered to be in a part of a Bitcoin mining pool. I did the research on it. I did the necessary homework and back, what you needed to do because that part of it wasn't as simple as what you're looking at here with Visionary. And a long story short, I decided to pass on that opportunity. But what I did know was that there was a bright, bright future with cryptocurrencies and the blockchain technology in the future. I continued to follow it. I continued to study it. I continued to look into it. I continued to talk with people that had associations with it, people that had information on it, started creating relationships in it. And lo and behold, in March of 2015, I was contacted to take a look at this company called Visionary, which was mining the coin Capricoin. It took me about 2 seconds to realize that this is the one that I wanted to be. This is one that I wanted to be a part of. Without a doubt in my mind, this is something that I needed to be a part of, something I needed to take a look at. And here's the way and the analogy I like to look at cryptocurrencies. If you're confused right now, if you're thinking, I'm just going to wait, I don't know if it's real, or I don't know, whatever your questions are on it. In 1990-ish, 91, 92, the world was essentially, I know it was around a lot longer than that, but really the world was introduced to the internet. Nobody knew what it was. The AOL, yada, yada, yada. Nobody understood it. Nobody got it. But the people that saw the vision with it were the ones that capitalized on it early. You look at the early Amazons and the early eBays and look at what those giants have grown into today. They saw the vision. They saw the opportunity. Most of the people thought it was going to be a fad. Most of the people thought it was not going to stick around. Or at the very best, it was going to be some sort of just fun tool that you couldn't use to monetize. And now we all know that that's not true. We all know not only is the internet really big, but we carry it around in our pockets. And that's what we're looking at right now. I told you earlier in this thing that 90% of the world probably hadn't heard of cryptocurrency yet. Over the course of the next 5 years or so, that number is going to switch. You're going to see 90% of the world is going to be educated on cryptocurrency. And in 10 years, within the next 10 years, could be sooner, this is going to be a mainstream thing. And right now is your time to capitalize on it. But you have to get the information and the questions answered, and you have to get into action starting right now. This is an opportunity. This is why I call this the biggest opportunity that you and I will ever see. Is because of the stage that we are in with it. In 5 to 10 years, there's probably going to be opportunity to capitalize on the movement of the cryptocurrency, the blockchain technology, and all of that, but is not going to be at what it is today. So here's what I recommend. Get back with the person that invited you on this call. Get your questions answered and get started mining Capricoin today. I hope everybody had an awesome day. I hope everybody got some value out of this webinar. I hope you guys make it a blessed rest of the day. I wish you the greatest success. I look forward to seeing you guys on the inside. And everybody, be blessed, be awesome, live, love, and laugh. And we'll say goodbye for now. Thank you.